Over the last 40 years, G-Shock has found a way to distill the rugged digital tool watch down to its pure essence, offering feature-packed, reliable watches for the masses. This year, G-Shock decided to pay tribute to some of its most popular models, stemming from those iconic originals back in 1983, though modernized for today's audience. These 5 watches on the table are direct descendants of those models that started it all, now with new colorways capturing the brand's origins at a still attainable price point. So today, we're going to dive in and take a closer look at all 5 of these models in the Origins series. But before we do that, I do just want to take a moment to mention that all 5 of the watches that we're looking at here are available in the Windup Watch Shop, where we have a curated selection of watches, straps, accessories, and everyday carry items curated by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. So if at any point during this video you want to take a closer look at one of these watches here, hit windupwatchshop.com or stop into our Brooklyn showroom where we have them on display and you can get some hands-on for yourself. But with that out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump into it. Now, G-Shock is a brand that most enthusiasts would agree brought about the concept of toughness to the timepiece, thanks to the efforts by the project Team Tough spun up in 1981 by G-Shock, aimed at constructing a watch that wouldn't break even if dropped. Over 200 prototypes in 2 years, and they finally arrived at a shock-resistant structure, marking the birth of its tough-to-its-core technology and laying the foundation for the continued evolution ever since. While their modern catalog may boast a model for virtually every type of enthusiast out there, that does not mean that those original models are no longer sought after. Instead, as G-Shock continued to rise in popularity, those original models took on the status of icon, becoming a sought-after addition to many collections. In response, G-Shock again listened to its enthusiast audience, updating those older models with modern specifications, and released them as part of this new Origins collection. So let's take a closer look at these 5 new models and talk through their specifications, overall design language, and what makes them part of that Origins cast. First up, we have the G-Shock DW5600RL-1A, a tribute to the original DW5000C-1A model from 1983. The 5600, closest in design to its original DW5000, really aims to capture the brand's origins in an affordable package. By far the most wearable of the collection, the lightweight package measures in with a case diameter of 42.8mm paired with a thickness of 13.4mm and a compact lug-to-lug of 48.9mm, being completely constructed of modern bio-based resins. Yes, those measurements are large, but for those of you familiar with other G-Shock models, you will know that these wear exceptionally well on almost any wrist, thanks to the way that the case and strap conforms to your wrist, their diminished visual appearance by way of darker aesthetic, and their overall lightweight construction. That theme carries over to all of the models we're going to talk about today, so please don't be frightened by the numbers that you're going to see. The original color scheme here is faithfully reproduced with subtle touches of red to symbolize passion to take on challenges, blue symbolizing excellence and water resistance, and yellow for outstanding shock resistance. In the new model, we have an updated 200 meters of water resistance along with an updated LCD display powered by a modern module. Offering a 5-year battery life, the module 3524 brings a stopwatch, a countdown timer, an alarm, and a full automatic calendar with an LED backlight, meaning that this still remains an attainable everyday one-watch collection possibility. Turning our attention to the next watch on our list, and standing out with its octagonal bezel, the GA2100, dubbed the Cassiope by the greater watch community, seems to have really found a home in the collection after its 2019 release. Here, the GA2100RL-1A follows in a familiar format with its anti-digi display by way of the module 5611 leaning more on a unique visual to find a way into the Origins collection. It carries bold wrist visuals in a still lightweight package, measuring in with a case size of 45.4mm, paired with a surprising thickness of just 11.8mm and a lug-to-lug of 48.5mm. The blue, red, and yellow accents creep in, with red weighing down the hour indices, yellow marking the G-Shock name and shock-resistant text, and then blue marking the water resistance. It again packs in a ton of useful complications like a stopwatch, a countdown timer, an alarm, a full automatic calendar, and of course the awesome LED light bouncing in to catch the analog hands. A recent darling for collaborations, the DW6900 marks a rounded departure from the square design of the originals. Since the triple graph came onto the scene in 1995, shortly after G-Shock introduced its first ever front backlight button, it has remained a popular model to this day. With its larger surface area, the dial offers ample space for sequential circle graphics, time and complication displays, and surrounding feature callouts. Its large wrist presence with a 50mm case and almost 19mm thickness still wears fairly well thanks to the lightweight construction, but offers up a significant feeling of confidence during wear. The large bezel rising from the crystal offers better protection than the previous models, while helping to cement its place on the wrist of armed forces across the world. Again, subtle accent colors pay tribute to its features, but really, this one stands out because of how cool that button looks. Now the next model on our list is the first that extends above that $100 price point, though only by $30, and that is the GA110RL-1A. This one's huge, measuring in at 51.2 millimeters with a thickness just under 17 millimeters and a lug-to-lug of 55. But while the previous model did have a larger length and measurement, they all tend to flex incredibly well conforming to most wrists. That being said, this one does remain a bit rigid, potentially suiting those with larger wrists a bit better. The anti-digi display fills the visuals with rugged details lending a much more aggressive visual than before. Angles and facets seem to jut out of every direction, kind of like a mouth filled with teeth, though still offering a full suite of complications and a legible layout. Here, the blue and yellow are kept to a relative minimum, with red really taking the center stage, surrounding the mineral crystal under the protruding bezel details and carrying through to the case back, where the red bio-resin encompasses the entire case. Now this last watch on our list seems to be the standout of the bunch, as we are struggling to keep it in stock in the Windup watch shop. That is the DW5000R-1A. While at first it may seem very similar to that first DW5600 we talked about, holding this one in your hand, you will immediately signal the differences as it weighs more and is significantly better to the touch. Now that is largely down to its construction, as the bio-based resin here is actually more on the appearance side of things, surrounding a steel case on the inside. Equipped with a screw-down case back, this model still achieves 200 meters of water resistance, but just has a different heft while holding it. All of this helps increase the shock resistance and durability, while offering a slightly more confident feel. While this module inside does still offer similar functionality and battery life to that 5600 we talked about earlier, the layout is tweaked slightly to be a more accurate representation of the original. A theme carried throughout this watch, as G-Shock claims that this is a faithful one-to-one recreation of that original model, even down to the bracelet. This model also has the distinction of being made in Japan inside of the Yamagata Casio manufacturing facility, considered the mother factory of the entire brand. And that really rounds out the Origins collection. They remain attainable everyday durable watches, true to the origins, with a bit more flair and modern technology packed inside. It's hard to argue anything against them, as really it boils down to the styling. G-Shock has offered up 5 very distinctive styles here for you to choose from, and if the design language resonates with you, you easily have the ability to scoop up one or all of them for a lot less than the competition. Every enthusiast needs a G-Shock in their collection, so why not grab a modern take on an iconic model? Well folks, that is going to do it for this video here, taking a closer look at the new G-Shock Origin series of watches. If you like this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know down in the comments section. I'll be down there kind of talking about these models, so if you want to chat about them further, please let me know, or otherwise check them out at thewindupwatchshop.com. If you are interested in them, you might want to act fast, because I know that this DW5000 has really just been flying off the shelves and we can't keep it in stock. And it's a really cool piece. It's one that's fun to wear and, again, pays tribute to those original icons. But anyway, guys, all of that being said, all of these models out there in the open, I know that your time is valuable, and I really appreciate you spending some time with me. So until the next one, peace.